Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi, and today we have another Raid Shadow Legends video. I'm going to be doing a champion spotlight today for one of the new Fusion Champions, Kaiden. Really excited about this. I think he's well, I'm always excited about it, aren't I? But he's actually a really cool champion, better than I thought he was when I was first looking at the Fusion. The biggest thing, and this is always the case, guys, his multipliers are good. The guy can hit hard, and that makes all the difference in the world of whether a champion's okay or really good. In this case, he's gonna be really good. There are some limitations to him. I don't think he's gonna replace all the champions that we're using currently, especially for clan boss, but I do think he has a really nice place in this game. I just used him successfully to advance to my faction war team, so clearly this guy can play, and he's kind of unique in a few ways. So we're gonna go ahead and look at his kit there. So let's actually do that. Why wait? Let's jump in and look at his kit. Okay, guys, so this is Kaiden. He obviously, looks kind of funky. Kind of a fat little dark elf there, I guess, with the spiky helm. He looks pretty dope, though. Definitely not angry at him with his big old axe and shield. Basically, the way I've built him out is like I would any one of my clan boss attack down champions. He's a defensive champion. That's his base of his stuff. So I wanted to build high defense on him. I also want to get him good crit rate and crit damage if I can, and decent accuracy. Now, if I was bringing him the Ultra Nightmare, I would want to get his accuracy a little bit higher. I definitely want to get his speed a little bit higher. But for right now, this is just kind of a trial type of thing. This should be okay. I might bump his speed up just a little bit to make sure that we are in tune when I take him in the clan boss and show you guys what's going on. But that'll be it. I'll just toss a glyph on there. As far as his masteries go, I went pretty traditional offensive tree and support tree. Nothing wild about that. We went all the way down to War Master. I know you can't see it behind my head, but that is where we ended up going. And then I went down the support tree to get the accuracy boost as well as to get Lore Steel. Now, Sniper and Master Hexer. Master Hexer is going to be helpful with his decreased attack. Sniper isn't. This was kind of a bit of a mistake. Another way I would build this is actually going down the defensive tree. I think, in truth, that would probably be a better way to go if you were going to do this typically. So just keep that in mind. You can go down the defensive tree, coming all the way down here to Retribution so you can get some more counterattacks. That just gives you a little bit more damage, but the Master Hexers actually could be really nice as far as extending that decreased attack debuff. That said, that's pretty much it. His skills, he's got a 15% chance of placing Provoke on his A1, books up to a 30% chance. It's not bad, nothing great, but not bad. When it comes up, it's actually pretty useful. Shatter Sweep, he has a books up to 100% chance of laying that decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And this comes up every 3 turns. This is actually not a bad skill at all. And then the very last one, Favor of Chambers, this is what really makes him very unique, is that he can revive 2 random allies with 50% HP and an increased defense buff on them for 1 turn. Books down to a 4-turn cooldown. So Favor of the Chamber is going to be great for faction wars. It's going to be great for dungeon runs. It's not going to be great for clan boss. It'll be helpful at the end of your run, but once you start dying, it's only a matter of time at that point usually anyway. But this can boost your damage in things like clan boss considerably. Shatter Sweep is really good as far as decreased attack. It's an AoE skill, which makes him really good for dungeons, makes him really good for faction wars. And that's where the Provoke skill is also going to come in handy for dungeon runs and faction wars. Now, the guy can hit pretty hard, so he's not bad. I'm sure he won't be bad in Arena. I don't think that's his focus and place in this game. But if you need an AoE decreased attack champion for some reason, Kaiden would work just fine for that. So I think, in all, he's a really good champion. Now, if you are interested in this build, you're interested in other builds of champions like this, I do want to talk to you guys really quickly about this Discord group that found me. It's this group called Andromeda, RSL Raid Shadow Legends Andromeda bot. It's kind of a cool little thing. It's this service they offer where basically, and you guys can get like 5 free command tries with this thing, but basically you type in a command and it will it'll send you a personal bot that's going to give you the stats or the information that you're looking for. So if you want to just pull random shards and see what that would be like, a shard simulator, it has that availability. If you want to know what are decreased attack champions, it will give you that list of them. If you want to know how do I build this champion for clan boss, for arena, for dungeons, it'll let you know that. You type in the area you want, like CB for clan boss, and then the name of the champion, let's say Tayrell. click return, and then what's going to happen is the bot is going to hit you up right up there, and it's going to give you a breakdown of Tyrell. So it's going to give you the name, the boss. It's going to give you the little all the little things about him, what affinity is, rarity, how you want to kit him out. So it gives you the gloves, chest, boots, the recommendation there. Gives you the amulets, the rings, the banners, all that, the gear stuff, all the subsets that you're looking for, etc. And it gives you also a nice little mastery preview there. Now this thing's pretty new, so like I would not put accuracy on my chest piece, for example, but there are going to be as this grows, there's going to be more and more submissions of builds for this. So I'm actually going to be submitting all the builds that I'm doing for all these videos. They'll be there. There'll be links to the videos on there as well. So you guys can actually, if you want to know how I built these guys, you can come here and do it. Now it's not free, but you do get a few free looks at it. So anyway, I wanted to let you know about that. Might be something that you guys are interested, maybe not, but regardless, I figured it's worth passing that information along. Now what I want to do is I want to take Kaiden, and I first want to take him into the dungeons. I think that's really where you're going to see a lot of success with him, especially early on in your accounts. And I actually want to do a little bit of an experiment with him, if you guys are willing. I want to take him in, and I'm going to just bring him in with, quite literally, all of our defense champions. So this is pretty much every decreased attack champion I have. These are all the best ones, right? You've got Tyrell, you've got Lightsworn, you've got Sepulchre Sentinel, you've got Stag Knight, you've got Kaiden. Now, Stag Knight's really not as equipped as the rest of them because he's a little bit of a different type of champion. But Tyrell, Lightsworn, Sepulchre Sentinel, and Kaiden, they all have approximately the same level of defense and crit rate and damage. So the crit rate might be a little bit off, but the damage should be close. So you can see Lightsworn, 4,400 defense, 219 crit damage. Where's Sepulchre Sentinel? She's here, right? There we go. Sepulchre Sentinel got 4,400 defense, 200 crit damage. Let's see, where's he at? Tyrell, here we go. Tyrell's got 4,200 defense, 200% crit damage. And then we've got Kaiden here. And we've got Kaiden at 4,100 defense, 200 crit damage. Now, I want to do that because I've seen videos of him already. He's hitting hard, but really matters in comparison to the rest of these guys. Is he outshining them, or is he on par with them? That can make a pretty big difference in things. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a look, and basically we're just going to run this. I'll have Tyrell go ahead and put the decreased defense. I'll have Sepulchre Sentinel put up the increased defense, so we can get kind of a better view here. So we've got decreased defense on 4 of these champions. That should actually give us a pretty good look. Let's go ahead and see. Let's give them increased defense just so they hit a little harder. We can get a better view of this. And then we'll go ahead and bring in Lightsworn. Now, Lightsworn has 2 attack skills. The decreased defense is very similar to Kaiden, and as in it's his A2. And then he has an A1 that does a turn meter thing. So let's start with his A1, see how that goes. Okay, so 18k was the crit. He does a triple attack, which is really nice as far as bringing Giant Slayer for the clan boss. So you're looking on the upward end, maybe like 60k if he's critting on all those hits. Otherwise, you're probably talking about, even if he's critting on the lower end, so you're talking somewhere between like 50 and 60k on that. Not too bad. Let's go A1 here with Kaiden. 54k, just on a single hit A1. That's not bad at all. Right on par with Lightsworn. Tyrell. 2 hits, 26, 27k. That's really on par with Kaiden. It's about the same amount, 53, 54,000. We've got an A1 here with Stag Knight. I want to see Sepulchre Sentinel do her thing, I think, first. So let's see how that does. She has a single hit, 47k. So out of those, it seems like Lightsworn hits the hardest if he's full crit. Then Kaiden and Tyrell are kind of in the same boat, and Sepulchre Sentinel is just a little bit behind. Now, if we go with our A2 here, we can do this on, let's go Crossbowman. Boom. So 22k didn't crit on that though, so it's not a really good look. We can kind of see what Stag Knight does there. A1, 8k. It's okay, not bad. Not a huge hitter. So we'll go A2 here with Kaiden. It is AoE, but you can see 54 to 38,000 damage, so it's on par with his A2. And then Tyrell's A2 is a decreased defense ability. And he's doing about 40 to 50k across the board with that. We can go with Sepulchre Sentinel here. 54k again. Well, that's her A1. She only has her A1, so that's the single hit. If we go ahead and go ahead on Crossbowman there, 15k from Kaiden. So not a whole lot on that one there. Didn't have decreased defense. That makes a big difference. He didn't have increased defense either. Also makes a big difference. So you can see there's definitely some damage potential out of him. He hits about as hard as any of these guys, except maybe Tayrel. Tayrel's A3 hits very, very hard, and so that's pretty good. Lightsworn's probably going to be the biggest damage dealer out of the group, and then probably looks like Tayrel, but Kaiden looks like he's on par, maybe a little bit better than Sepulchre Sentinel is. So that's good to know. Definitely does damage, which is, you know, obviously something that we want to see, but nothing super crazy. See, you can see 8k on those. This is without, obviously, the decreased defense. There he's doing 23k, 22k a pop. That's pretty solid for an AoE attack right there. Only getting about 25 from Tayrel. Let's just kind of see without the decreased defense how we do here, actually. This is kind of a good experiment. 24k from Sepulchre Sentinel. She does hit hard. No way to avoid that. And yeah, you can see 8,000 each hit from Lightsworn. We're looking pretty on par with everybody else as far as that kind of damage goes. And then A1 here, yeah, 25k. So all these guys do about the same amount of damage. What that means though is all four of these are good damage dealers. So if you can build damage into your composition, into your build of Kaiden, I think he's actually going to be really effective. But that's kind of the thing, right? So, but I don't think he's any stronger hitter than any of these others. Not weaker, by sure. And he does have a nice AoE ability. Skills are on 3-turn cooldowns. So he's definitely good. I just don't think he's going to be, you know, turning over, you know, making things super crazy or changing up the metas or anything like that. Tayrel's still going to be the hardest hitter out of this group. Lightsworn's probably going to be number 2 and brings a lot of utility with him as well. So those are probably the two I would focus on more. I think overall the issue with Kaiden is he only brings that decrease. He brings that decreased attack, and he also brings revive. So if you need revive, he's going to be a great champion. Otherwise, you know, Sepulchre Sentinel brings increased defense and block debuffs. Tayrel brings decreased defense as well as decreased attack. Lightsworn brings increased defense, revive, as well as decrease attack, as well as decrease speed. He brings a lot to the table too. So the other champions seem to be a little bit more, they all kind of bring a little bit something different, right? So they all have their own unique utility. So I think you can kind of see Kaiden has a place in this game, just kind of maybe a little bit different than some of the other ones. And here you can see he brings them back up. So it's a pretty strong skill that he does bring to the table. Definitely something you need. And when you start facing faction wars, that's going to be really important. I believe the only reviver for Dark Elves, there's not many of them. Not that aren't legendary. So I think there's like Blind Seer as the legendary, but as far as the factions go, there's not a ton of them. That said, I did beat Faction Wars today, and I actually beat the Dark Elf faction. I don't find this super interesting for you guys to watch, but I can tell you, Kaiden was crucial. Being able to revive my Coldheart when she went down was super big for being able to advance on this. So I think he definitely has a really significant spot in this game, and I would recommend that you guys level him up. Let me go ahead and build him for Clan Boss so you guys can see what that's about. Okay, guys, so this is the team I'm going to be bringing in. This is definitely not a great build. One, I would like to have increased defense on this team. It's kind of, it fails a lot without increased defense, merely because of the fact that that's something that you should, to really see the damage that like a Rosin or a Kaiden can do, that would be really helpful. It'll also help us survive a lot longer, but you know what? I just kind of want to see how he fares, and I want to point out a couple of the issues that you're going to have with him too. He does have a couple flaws that we do need to be aware of. So I think this should be fine. It's going to be a little bit of a wonky speed tune, but we should be okay. So there we go. We got Frozen Banshee heading up first. We're going to go ahead and get Bad Elkazar working her magic there. And then we'll wait a little bit to get him going. And we're going to have to wait for him. Because the thing is, with his ability, you're going to need to time that decrease attack to a very specific point. It's just not going to work otherwise. And so that becomes tricky in and of itself, and I'm going to explain that here in a second. Basically what happens is the clan boss focuses on attack. The reason why decrease attack is so important is because obviously if you decrease the clan boss's attack, they do less damage. Well, there is one pretty significant exception to that. That stun strike. That stun strike is based solely on the HP of your champions. So if your champion has more HP, it's going to do more damage. Also, if you put decreased attack, it doesn't affect the hit. Kaiden has a 2-turn debuff, so we need to use it right before the AoEs, and we need to make sure that stays up for that amount of time. That's simply how that's going to have to work. There's no real other ways around it, unfortunately. And so it's a bit tricky getting him to work just right with that. As you can see, we're still going along here nice and easy, no big problems. The A1, we're doing okay damage, 50k. There's no increased defense, so that's probably going to be closer to 70k otherwise. We'll be doing Skull Crusher type damage. But he's doing all right so far. Want to get that back around if we can. And there we go. All right. Just kind of watch this a little bit as we go through here. So Frozen Banshee just a little bit faster than our Bad Alcazar, which is unfortunate because she's taking the stun, but it's not really the point. I'm not doing this for super damage potential. I just kind of want to see how he does. Now, this is the negative. His debuff didn't land. It's not like he doesn't have 100%. He's fully booked. It just didn't land. And so that's going to put the entire run at risk. And this is a problem with a champion like Kaiden. It's the same problem, though, that you have with a champion like Lightsworn or Stag Knight. Anyone else that does their decrease attack not as their A1 ability, but as like an A2 or A3 ability that's not available every single turn. When it's not available every turn, if it doesn't land, oh boy, watch out for those next couple hits. They're going to be pretty big. But that's not unusual, right? We have other champions that people use for clan boss like that. Like I said, like Lightsworn, like Stag Knight. Those are two very popular choices. Kaiden, I think, competes with them on this. He has a 100% chance to land that debuff. All you need is the accuracy. And when he lands it, it's going to be effective, you know? In addition to that, he does hit hard, so he's going to do good damage for you on top of that. So he definitely is a good spot for this, and when people start going down, he's going to be able to revive them. He's not going to keep you guys in tune when he revives them, but he will be able to revive them. So that's a good thing. But yeah, that's pretty much his deal. I'll just go ahead and let this play, and you guys can kind of watch and see how he does. So guys, you can see Kaiden's pretty effective. I don't think there's anything super fancy about this champion, but his revivability is pretty strong. That's going to be really nice, especially in dungeons, especially for progression, definitely for things like arena, faction wars especially. I think in faction wars he's going to be great. I know Fang Cleric is there to revive your champions, but I think Kaiden's a much better option for you. Defensive champions are naturally survivable, and he hits hard too, so that kind of gives you all three things you want, right? From a reviver, survives, hits hard, and revives your other champions. I mean, that's really what you want. So that's a really good champion to bring in. One of the problems with a lot of these revived champions is they end up getting targeted. Kaiden won't, because he has such high defense anyway. You build him tanky. I don't, most of the time they want to avoid him rather than target him. And even if they do target him, he has good defense in which to avoid, dying, which is great. So I really like the champion. I think he's very good. If you guys are still looking for epics to target, I do think Kaiden is one of them. Now, I know he's available from this champion chase event, so you have the shards or you don't. You're willing to get more shards or you're not. No shame there. But a lot of these rare champions that you can get to build for him, that might be a great way to go, because I think he is useful, especially if you don't have a decreased attack champion on your team, or you don't have a Fang Cleric built up for your faction war teams. And I know nobody likes to talk about it, but faction wars is going to be important, guys. With Lydia coming up, trust me, faction wars is going to be important. You want to advance in that. So that is one of the reasons why I would say getting Kaiden is a good move for you guys. He's a really good champion. I'm really excited to test some of the other ones that are coming out and really kind of get a feel of, are these people we should go for? From what I've seen, none of them seem bad, the epics. None of them seem great either, but none of them seem bad. So I figure if you guys are not down for this, going for this legendary, which I totally get, try and get some of these epics. They're pretty solid champions. I think you're going to be able to use them in various places. I don't think they're game breakers, so if you don't get one, I don't think it's going to hurt you long term. But if you can, I think it'll be worth it. So anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that fun jazz, because till next we meet, guys, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.